we've got another amazing partnership to talk about here. There's a little company that needs no introduction named Microsoft, and they've got some enterprise relationships, and they've made an unbelievable commitment to help move enterprises to this cloud computing model. And one of their engineering and product leaders that's been leading that charge to bring enterprises into a cloud model is Corey Sanders, who I'd like to welcome up on stage next, and I believe with a special friend. Hey, Corey. Yeah, good to see you.
What's up, man?
Thank you, brother. How you been? Fast and furious up here this morning. This is amazing.
Back to back to back.
There's so much going on.
Yeah.
So maybe welcome to stage Manulife and Microsoft. You want to go left to right on some quick introductions here before we kick off?
Left to right from there, so I'm first, yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I'm all turned around, I apologize. Yeah, okay.
My left.
What a terrible introduction. My name is Corey Sanders. I'm head of product for compute on the Azure team.
Jesse Bean, I'm head of chief experience for the investment division, and I run innovation globally for Manulife. John Hancock, how about that?
In the U.S., we're known as
In
John
the US,
Hancock.
yeah, I know.
This is clearly well rehearsed.
Anyways, I'm Sebastian Blandizzi. I'm the CIO of the investment division, Manulife John Hancock.
Yeah, well, welcome. I think maybe the conversation that's really fascinating to me here is, Microsoft's commitment to cloud and to their enterprise customers of bringing them to cloud, and how they've been helping Manulife with Cloud Foundry on that journey. It'd be great to hear a little bit to kick off of where we are in that journey and a few lessons learned so far.
Yeah.
You want to start?
No, you go ahead. I'll jump in.
So we're prominently an Azure cloud shop, for people who don't know. And we've installed and running paths as we think it's obviously the way to go because of how we're going in this industry. We think it's enabling us to make us differentiated in our investment applications.
Yeah.
But we think Microsoft is a huge partner in doing that. We've been a huge partner with Microsoft for many, many years now. So I guess PCF in Azure is where we're heading.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would add to that is we were a large .NET development shop when we first started out, and when we went, Azure, we had to look at all the cloud offerings, and Azure was the cloud offering that had the global presence and had the scale that we were looking for.
Yeah.
We already did big data with Azure, so at the end of the day, it was like, how do we do Java on Azure? And Pivotal was the answer. So it's been a good journey. It's early on, but we did do a proof of concept in 101 days.
Wow.
With a portfolio management toolkit on Pivotal, and it was a great success. And that's just basically evolving the organization to another point. Later on, I'll be talking at the CIO panel about the evolution of the organization, because at the end of the day, it takes a culture to actually properly implement these tools. At the end of the day, you could ask me, is the tool good? I'm like, yeah, you know what, the tool works.
Yeah.
And the tool can do what you need it to do, but do you have the culture for you to usher in this type of tool set, for you to usher in this type of development? And that's the question you got to ask yourself, because at the end of the day, it's all about what your culture is in your organization. It's not an easy thing to do, right? So.
Yeah, and I think real quickly, without going too deep on it, we did have part of this as Pivotal Labs in Toronto, and kind of some of the agile development practices that Pivotal brings to the table is also part of this package intrinsically. Do you want to maybe mention that quickly? Because those three things together, right? You get Spring Framework, you get Azure, you get Pivotal Labs. Now you've really got a holistic transformation.
Yeah, Pivotal Labs is changing the way we do things, but we're trying to fit it to an enterprise culture.
Yeah.
The pair programming and the co-location, when you do it on a global scale, it comes a little challenging. But taking the best parts of those practices, maybe 80% of that, and actually using it to drive forward is what we're doing. And we think it's the way to work. And everybody is accountable and loves the pace that it presents. So it's been an awesome experience.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Sebastian.
Sorry.
Yeah, please.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I think the agility is also where sort of the cloud can really come in and help,
Yeah.
right? I think offering that really fast spin up, spin down sort of opportunity layered on top with Pivotal makes that really, really easy. And of course, with Azure, you've got both the public cloud, but you've also got the on-premises, the hybrid story that you can deploy on with Azure Stack. And so that combination, it really gives a lot of choice, which is one of the biggest things that's exciting, I think, about Azure at this point. Many of you are probably surprised or wondering, gosh, Microsoft's sitting at a mostly Java conference, right?
Why?
I was
no one's
surprised,
surprised.
too.
No one's surprised.
Gotta be honest.
And this actually is, and James and I talked about this a lot. The really powerful part about Pivotal and Cloud Foundry is it offers an awesome Java story on top of Azure, and so it enables us to give this optionality to you, and sort of make it possible to deploy on top of the growing public and our on-premises cloud as well with that amazing story.
Yeah, I think that's an exciting partnership because a lot of enterprises were always half and half .NET and Java. Now they don't have to choose.
Right.
Yeah, no, and the only thing I'll add is you just cannot underestimate the cultural implications of this kind of movement, right? When we talk, 8 years ago, actually, I was actually at State Street, and my chief architect said, Sebastian, if we're going to go agile, we might as well go extreme programming. I was like, Andre, how about we start to program first, right? Because extreme programming is the pair programming and this test-driven development and all that good stuff. And it's like, look, the culture wasn't there 8 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So we set on a path and a journey to set that culture in place to put us in a position to actually implement that kind of development environment and that fast-paced, iterative, test-driven, pair programming. The first day I was at Pivotal Labs, I was like blown away. I walk into Pivotal Labs, I see these guys pair programming. I'm a programmer myself, and I was like, wow. You know what I mean? I was blown away. I said, Jesse, we got to call Andre and have him see this, because 8 years ago that was his vision, right? But you cannot underestimate the culture that's required to usher in this new, development environment, right? And
to add on to that, right? It's so the tech environment is embracing this culture, right? And it's around. It's now embracing the business to operate as well at this speed, and when you get those few early adopters, they're like, wow, this is how we should be doing things, because you get a big enterprise, you get 35,000 people acting in a, call it 10-person team manner. It's a sight to see.
No, it's all about the developers. Finally, I've been part of the knock I've had in running IT organizations has been, you favor the developers, because I'm a developer myself.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, we've never had a tool to actually favor the developers until now, right?
Yeah.
So now the developers are like, wait a minute, I like this, right? And we're calling them engineers now, right? So they're all like, we're not developers anymore, we're full stack engineers, we're ready to go, right? So anyways, it's great to see that cultural movement, and I keep talking culture, I'll talk about it later on today, but
Can't wait.
it's really, that's what this is all about, right? It's about ushering in that new movement, right? And Pivotal gives us the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, together, and I think the reason it makes so much sense, because at the end of the business day, to that business problem that Comcast had, how would you deliver a patch to a major system in an hour if you don't have test-driven development and a great CI system?
Right.
You're just wishing and hoping when you hot patch.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you know this, James, when we were in San Fran, and the security. The head of security there.
Maybe you want to talk a little bit about your impressions of security.
God, blew me
and
away.
Justin.
He just blew me away.
Yeah.
Blew me away. I actually presented to the board of Manulife John Hancock, and I said, you guys got to understand, as we usher in this new technology, it's got security by design, right? So I'm already trying to, people need to be educated on what this really is all about, because our legacy infrastructure is, forget security, right?
That goes back to the enterprise culture, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, these guys don't understand what's happening, so it's a pure education. So.
And this part, I think, where it's sort of Pivotal and Microsoft and Azure come together really nicely is
Yeah.
because I do think, both of us have that really, really laser focus on offering that enterprise solution, offering a deep commitment to security, to making sure that the needs of an enterprise and growing requirements, both in the existing world, but then also moving into the new world and being able to support that type of agility while also getting that level of security with a set of services and technologies offered on Azure. That's a really nice part of the partnership, and I think something we work on together a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy my friendship with you, Corey, and the relationship we have. And I think what's really cool about what Pivotal and Microsoft are doing together is we really are bringing enterprise-grade next generation.
Right.
I think like Oracle to some extent has sat way back and harvested their legacy and said the word cloud. And I think Microsoft has distinguished itself by, walking the walk of the next generation of technologies and earning that trust.
Right.
And it's just so great to work together with you on that.
Right, and those integration points that we've got have been fantastic, right? I think that some of the additional integration points with other parts of our PaaS platform, our data platform, SQL platform, our storage platform, those are really powerful ways to engage across the entire stack.
Yeah, I think we have a huge roadmap there together.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you guys will.
No,
love it.
I'm just
As a customer, how does it feel?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's ironic, right? We got Microsoft up here talking about Java, right? It's like that's just not heard of.
And an ex-VMware company talking about Microsoft Cloud.
Oh, Microsoft, right?
Let's
It's
be honest.
crazy. It's crazy. But
The final thing, just to let people know, Azure is really invested in geographic diversity.
Yeah.
And this is a Canadian implementation of Azure that's somewhat unique. So maybe just talk about that for a second, and before we get off stage.
yeah, we'll go ahead. Jesse,
Yeah, I
sorry.
mean, we couldn't run our global business without that. So when Microsoft obviously committed to going in all the regions that we operate, so whether it be Asia versus Canada versus the US, we need, because of data residency issues, we needed Azure basically in those areas. And Microsoft has stepped up to that plate and actually eliminated, I guess, potential.
Yeah, no, you're going to have to continue to,
Continue.
right? Because we do business
You're very global, right?
everywhere, right?
Yeah,
We
we've
talked
got-
to Manulife
Like,
Asia, Manulife.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. A lot of the people in here, they probably know John Hancock, right?
Yeah.
That's the U.S.
That's
brand.
US brand, yeah.
We go by, but Manulife is global. And you go to Hong Kong, you go to Singapore, you go to Vietnam, you go to Taiwan, you go to China, you go to Kuala Lumpur, where we have 125 developers. You're talking Manulife, right?
Yeah.
So, Microsoft's going to have to step up, right, and make sure that they have the data centers and the clouds in each of those locations for us to, rid ourselves of this data residency.
Right. And with 34 announced regions at this point, I think that that's more than the other two guys combined. It is something that we do focus a lot on, making sure that we do get that coverage and get that global focus.
And I think just to close, Microsoft's one of those companies that they've been known for when they commit, they commit. So I think there's a lot of great things to do together and bring what I see in the Microsoft relationship is a lot of enterprises who might have been not ready when it was more of a bookseller oriented go to market. When Microsoft shows up with 10 cloud architects ready to help, it's sort of the signal to them like, okay, this phase change is really on now.
That's right. And Sebastian mentioned the culture change. And absolutely, at the Microsoft side, I think our focus on open, our focus on just making sure that we're delivering on the broader customer requirements, it's a part of our cultural change. And I think it fits in nicely.
No, absolutely. What do we have in here? We got Java developers?
Any Java developers here? Raise your
Hands in the air.
Anyone?
That's right. No, we don't got enough Java developers.
You hiring?
Yeah,
No, we're
this is
hiring.
a pitch.
With all due respect, like Java, this is where I came from. I'm a developer, by trade. And at the end of the day, you got to go Java. And the fact that Microsoft's coming to the table.
Quiet clap.
That's right. It's like
Look at that. Now
clap.
we're
happy
hearing.
with
Now,
that.
now we
That's
got
fine.
Java.
Come on.
A few of the Java
Gonna be awesome
developers
on
are like,
Azure.
I don't know. But yeah, no, but that's the way we got to go. I mean, not to disrespect .NET, we can do .NET as well, and that's where Azure and Pivotal got to get their act together.
And we run everything. It's awesome. There's no disrespect here.
Yeah, you better start running
what you
some
wanna run,
.NET.
man.
I want to migrate some .NET. We don't have to refactor everything to Java. You know what I mean?
This just turned into a meeting, I think.
Yeah. Well, hey, James.
Just like a design meeting.
James,
now. It's a
we're out
product
of
meeting.
time. We're out of time. This is going to get out of hand.
So,
With
with
that,
that, I guess.
this has been fun.
I've
and,
got my product decisions to go make, so.
great relationships here, and really excited about this journey together with all of you. And I hope it's something you continue to share your journey on the culture and the change, so that everyone else at other companies can learn from and profit by.
Yeah,
Cool.
Great.
So thank you for coming up today.
Absolutely.
We'll all
Thanks,
get
guys.
out of here now.
Thanks.
Thank you.